all set up and ready to go. Welcome to the Ruby Moss Cottage podcast vlog. It is a beautiful fall day here in the South USA, and I have the house all to myself, so I thought I would jump on here and spend some time with all my crofty little friends. I hope you all are doing well, and I hope it's a great autumn or spring wherever you are. We have been traveling a lot, and so I have had my fingers in a lot of crofty things, and I can't wait to dig into all of that with you. But let me see what's going on in my life. We've been traveling, and I'll get into all the details of that a little later, but we are here for a few days, and then next week we go off to West Virginia again to spend time with his family for a few days, and I'm looking forward to that. My sister isn't joining me here today. It hasn't been possible for us to get together to podcast, but we did spend some time together in the mountains on a sister's trip, and so I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. We have a birthday coming up, 2 birthdays coming up. My oldest Grandy turns 10. They are at Disneyland right now celebrating, and this was just a mother-daughter's kind of trip, so Gigi stayed behind, and then my birthday is in a few days, and that's always exciting for me. I don't know if it's as exciting for everybody else, but I don't really care because I like celebrating me, and I don't need anybody else with me to do it. I like a birthday. I like all the attention to be on me for one day of the year. At least give me one day of the year. But, so let's get started into what has been going on in my crofty world. First of all, out of my bags, I'm gonna have to show you pictures because I don't have the shawl. Remember, I was working on At Your Side, and that was by Malia Designs, Lisa Hannes. And I think where I left you, I'm not sure if I enjoyed that. I don't know if I was at the enjoyment part of it or if I was not enjoying it. But it turned out as it grew that I got to enjoy it a lot more. I made mine a lot bigger than what the pattern called for. And I used Isayer. I think that's how you say it. Someone told me in my comments of the last video how to say that, and I appreciate that so much. Anytime I'm saying something wrong, please feel free to kindly correct me, because I don't want to pronounce a brand or something wrong, but it's spelled I-S-A-G-E-R. I think I was saying Isager, and I know the first part was Isay, and I want to say it's Isayer, but it might have been Isager, I don't know. I would have to go back and look. I should have wrote it down. I thought I would remember, but no. But anyway, the Isayer yarn, and then something else I had in my stash. It was the gray is something I pulled from stash. I don't even remember what it was, but love the yarn. It gave it such a great drape. I finished it in time for my sister's birthday, although we did not celebrate on her birthday because I was out of town and she was recovering from surgery. So we celebrated when I got back into town, and I think she likes it. She's the one that's not a knitter, and so she said, I don't know how to wear it, you'll have to teach me and all that stuff. So, but I think she liked it. So I did finish that. That's the only thing out of my bags. I have started a lot of stuff. I have got this like casting on mojo. My knitting mojo has been gone for so long. This, I think I've told you all how difficult. I haven't told you the details, because the details of my life are not only my details. They happen to be my husband's details and our daughter's details and our grandchildren's details. So I am not going to go into the specifics, but it's been a very tough season for me and for all of us. And my knitting mojo left me in February, and it just now returned. Just now meaning in the last couple of weeks. When I was finishing up that shawl, I kind of pushed my way through that shawl, and when it got so big, I started enjoying it and I started getting a groove back. And I don't know if it was the shawl, the yarn. I don't know if it was because I finally, I think, have reached that that relaxed state of mind. I haven't been there for a long time, and I think I just got there. And so it's like everything clicked at once. Like I became Joyce again. I was restful and peaceful in mind and spirit. And I don't know, it's like now I want to cast everything on. I want to do everything I see. It's like, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I mean, my list is a mile long. As a matter of fact, what I've decided, I've committed to this in my mind. This is my birthday month. And I've decided that usually I start all of my goals and dreams and, all this grandiose plans January 1st. I decided that since this is my birthday month, this is the beginning of my new year. This is a new year. It's a new season. Things are going to change. It's got to get better. So I have set my knitting goals now, not waiting to January 1st. I changed my word of the year now. My word for 2019, starting in January 1st, was discover. And that word, I did not like that word for not one day. I only had it for 9 months. I discovered so much. And I would say 90% of what I discovered was horrible. The 10% that I did discover that was good was freedom. Set me free in so many ways. So that 10% maybe was 10% was good, and it's a long-lasting good, where the 90 that was bad, hopefully, was seasonally bad. I don't know if any of that's making sense. I guess what I'm doing is sharing a little bit, and I didn't even know this was coming out here, obviously. I was heading into my bags. I guess what I want to do is to let you know, so many times I watch podcasters. I actually haven't watched a lot of podcasts this year because life for the average podcaster seems to be so beautiful. It seems to be all giggles and kicks, and everything is perfect. And I couldn't watch that. Not that I begrudged them, not that I didn't want that to be their story. It's when you are going through a bad season and you are so low and so desperate and so lost, it's kind of hard to watch. So I, not even intentionally, just quit watching podcasters and kind of withdrawn. I haven't been that active even on Instagram as much. That's getting back, I think. But so I guess this is a good thing that I'm sharing this, because I don't want anybody to ever watch this video or one of my vlogs and think, oh, she's got the world by the tail, or oh, look, isn't life rosy? That's not the case. But I'm trying to enjoy my journey. I'm trying to take life one stitch at a time and trying not to dwell so much on the negative. I'm living the negative. I don't want to dwell on it, and I don't want to bring that into this, which should be a happy place. But I do want you to know that when you watch me, whatever kind of happy you see is because I just want to bring joy to your life. It may not be that I'm happy or that I've got it all figured out. I have fought depression. Years ago, I battled depression, and it nearly well, it incapacitated me, but it nearly took me. And so I got through that season, and now I know all the signs of depression. And so I start to, when I see it, I've got tools that I use to help me along my way. So that maybe what would have had me in the bed for a month or a week or a day, now I'm able to see it coming, and I kind of ward it off to where it doesn't get me. I'm really hesitant to even say that because something new may come my way that just lays me flat. But it's a process, and you know, it's a journey, and I'm getting better. So having said that, I was able to get through this year without being depressed. Sad and in pain, yes, but depressed, no. And I've lost my train of thought. I don't even know why I went into that. But I just want you to know that I feel your pain. And if you want to message me and ask me what tools I use, that it is such a prevalent experience for everyday people. You don't even know the person you're talking to that could be depressed. You don't even know that they're depressed. When my mom found out, she was like, I didn't even know. So just, if you are going through a rough time and you look around you and you see people who aren't acting like they're going through a rough time, they're going through a rough time. Everybody does at some point in their life. We all know that. And celebrate the ones who aren't, because you don't know where they've been, and they may be really, really happy. Like right now, I'm really kind of happy in this season, even though we still have some obstacles to overcome. We've overcome so many that I'm happy for what I have right now, because I'm not where I was. Not where I want to be, but I'm not where I was. So I don't know why I said all of that. I think we were heading to what was in my, I was getting my knitting mojo back. That's what led me to all that rabbit trail, or chasing that squirrel, whatever. Yes, so I'm getting my knitting mojo back. Okay, here's what I was saying. So my new goals. My new word, discover, is gone. My new word is adventure. This year is going to be a year of adventure, and I'm excited about that. I've got some, I already know of some, and then I'm sure there's more coming that I don't even know of. But, so adventure, I changed my word. It's, so my knitting goals have changed. I've decided that I want to knit a sweater a month. Now, that may be a bit, a grandiose, that may not be attainable. I don't care if it is or not. It's still a fun goal to have. So in my bags then, I'll show you my first sweater that I'm working on for my new year. It is, well, first of all, it's in my Ritual Dyes bag, which I love and which needs washed because I see I got something on it. I took this on my last trip. If you follow my stories or my Instagram, you saw all my little traveling badges and my knitter's badges. So in here is this, well, the Stephen West pattern, the Marled Mania sweater. And I'm doing it a little different. I'm not doing it marled. It may be a little maniacal, maniac, I don't know. I don't want to get my needles all, my needles and my yarn are, okay. This is the sweater, and I'm striping it. I'm on my last stripe. After this stripe, then you do the ribbing, and I'll do the ribbing in this green. But I am so in love with this sweater. The fit is perfect. I did not do gauge. I typically don't do, used to, I always did gauge. And somewhere along the line, I stopped doing it. I know that's going to come and bite me in the butt one day, but I don't, you know what? I used to be a project knitter and not a process knitter. I used to not enjoy the process. I just wanted to get it done. In that, I ended up with a lot of projects that I really wasn't happy with. I didn't like the fit. I didn't like, because you know what? I didn't want to do the process. I just wanted to get through it and get it done to the project. As I've matured in my knitting, I now am a process knitter. I like the process, to where then I have found that in enjoying the process, just slowing down, breathing, and enjoying the process, that I tend to like my projects much better, because in the process, you don't mind stopping, ripping out, redoing, because you enjoy the process, which gives you a better project or a better product. Does that make sense? So if you are a project knitter and you do not enjoy the process, take note and see if you really, really love your end product, because I'm going to say you don't, because you're rushing through the process to get to the project, to the product, the end product, and you haven't taken the time to just really fix along the way and scrutinize. And that is my experience. Might not be yours, but it's mine. Anyway, I am using Rowan Felted Tweed that I bought at Tia Dana. I don't know if you have ever used that yarn. It is wonderful to knit with. You can go to Tia Dana, and I'll put her I'll put her I'll put her Instagram handle here, so that if you wanted to contact her, I think you can just go to her page and click on her link. You can order from her if you can't get the Rowan Felted Tweed in your area and you want to give it a try. My sister just bought some to do a shawl with. We're doing a cast on my birthday, and that she's going to use this for her shawl. And it's beautiful yarn. I will get close. The tweed, you can see, that's the green. And then I'm going to, I love it. I got this idea from someone else on Instagram. She did Marl Mania, and she striped hers like this. So I copied her, as you do. And I'm really excited. I think it's going to go well. My shawl's falling off. This is the Marl Mania, and it is in my Ritual Dyes. And this is my October sweater. So I am doing this with the Breathe cowl. It is hosted by Amy of Extern. I'm going to put all that down here because it's hosted by two women and I don't know. And Amy is Exterminate. I don't know. Can't remember what her handle is. But anyway, it's the Mindless cowl. And this truly has been a mindless knit. I had just enjoyed it and just been able to have my mind in a good place while knitting on it. So I'm hoping to have this finished in before the month of October is over. So that is in my bags. Then let me stick that over there. Then another thing in my bags, and this is in my Bed of Roses bag. If you have not checked out her handmade bags, you need to, because they are so well made. You've heard me wax poetic about them before. I love her bags. I have several. As a matter of fact, this necklace, this knitter's jewelry, she makes knitter's jewelry, stitch markers, and all that. This knitter's jewelry, which is so bohemian, which is me. And these are all stitch markers and project keepers. So that when you're knitting, you just take one off and you put it in your project. First class, I love this. This can be adjusted to make it shorter or longer, but I have this one and one other one, and I wear them a lot. And they're so beautiful, even if you're not a knitter. So yes, that is by Catherine of Bed of Roses. And so my project is in this bag. And this is, she's also hosting, along with someone else, the Breathe cowl, which that is the mindless cowl excuse me, the Mindless Cow, you can knit anything you want. The Breathe Cow, we're doing the Lucky Charm shawl, and it started September 1st and ends December 31st, I believe. And you can knit, you can start it now because this is such a dream knit. The pattern is the Lucky Charm shawl by B Mandarin, Melody of B Mandarin, and I don't have a copy of it. It's on my iBooks. But I've started, and you can see a little bit of the pattern there. I've looked at others on Instagram. You can see, I don't know if you can see these slip stitches right in through here. I think I slipped mine a little tighter than what a lot of people are slipping theirs. Mine really has like a herringbone look to it. I wish I had been a little looser, but I wasn't, so it's okay. I love that color. This is so drapey and so comfortable. I will tell you the yarn I'm using is, it's Juniper Moon Farms Harriet Fine. So this is the yarn. It is, let me see if I can read, alpaca and polyamide. So 75% alpaca and 25% polyamide. Polyamida. I think that's just like a synthetic of some kind. But this is wonderful yarn. I bought this when we were in Vegas a while ago. I don't remember the name of the yarn shop. And it's not on. But anyway, I love this yarn. I love this project. I love Melody's shawl. I've only knit her shawls. I did her first shawl. I've done, maybe not. I might have done one of her hats. But her patterns are so well written. But yeah, this is growing. So I'm to the second section of it. Oh, and it's just so warm. So hopefully that'll be finished by the time I podcast again. But that is in my bags. And my goal, I would like to do a sweater a month and a shawl a month. But I don't want to be, that's almost like bondage. And that doesn't give me the freedom to just knit on a whim. So I scratched that, but I always do want to have a shawl on the needles. I would like to finish this before my birthday cast on that my sister and I are doing, and I don't think that's going to happen. But that's okay, because I can cast on another one. This doesn't have to be finished, technically, until the end of December. I'll have it finished way before then. Oh, I love it. So that is in my bags. Now, one other thing that's in my bags, and sadly this is not for me, but I'm gonna have to do one for myself. It's in my Attenti bag. Oh, I've got some of that fiber in my nose. Love this bag. This is a great, great travel bag. But what I'm knitting is, okay, I did bring it. It is a free pattern by Lion Brand, and it's called the Cable Comfort Throw, and I don't know how that's gonna show up here. But it's a big cabled throw. I'm making it as a gift, as a wedding gift. And I will show you, I've got 2 panels done. It doesn't look pretty because I have all these strings hanging. But you can see the panels. So what you do is you knit this whole side, and then you knit another one, then you stitch them together. And so now I'm on another one and I'll stitch it together. But this is so comfy. Oh my gosh. I don't want to give it away. Warm. But yeah, that's a gift. And I love it. I do not have a cable needle big enough for this. I think I'm using like size 19 needles or 17 needles. I don't know. Oh, well, there's already one on the, but anyway, And so I don't have a cable needle big enough. So I'm using a pen a writing pen. When I get to the cable, I just take those 6 stitches off, put it on. But it's a free pattern online brand, so go check it out because you will want to knit one of these. Now I'm using Swift Knit, is a super chunky by Stylecraft, which I bought this so long ago. I was actually going to make a throw for another friend. His daughter got married and I was going to make her one, but I never got around to it. So then when this wedding rolled around, I thought, oh, I've got this, I'm going to make it. I hope I have enough, which I don't think I do, and I hope I can order more. But this stuff is so affordable. So I'm not going to have a lot of money in this. I think like, I had a whole big box of this, and I think I had like $80 in the yarn. I'm pretty sure I might have to order more. But it's super chunky, goes a long way. But I'm thinking I'll be doing a lot of these for gifts. I thought maybe my daughters, I'd knit them one for their birthdays next year. But that is in my bags, and I think you would love to knit one of those if you ever wanted to knit a blanket. Free pattern, chunky yarn, big needles. Perfect recipe, right? Now, that is all that's in my bags that I'm actively working on as far as knitting, except I pulled something from baggage. And if you'll remember way back, I haven't pulled anything from baggage from a long time, but baggage is that stuff that's just, kind of just laying there, lingering, needs dealt with. We have some baggage, don't we? But I pulled this out. This is something I started for my grandson a long time ago, just because I liked the colors and I just thought it looked boyish. And then I got to thinking about it and thought, well, it looks kind of fall too, so I'm going to pull that out. And it is the 10-stitch blanket. That kind of looks like fall. I don't know, I'll show you the skein of yarn. So this blue and this red's gonna come into play at some point. I don't know what color's next. I like that. I like pulling from yarn in something like this and not knowing what color is coming next. But this pattern, and it's I wrote down it. I don't know if it's a free pattern or not because that was in my iBooks and I've had it for so long. Like I said, this is baggage, but it is Frankie's Knitted Stuff, and that's the best I can do for you. Go to Ravelry. It's on Ravelry if you're interested. But and it's the coolest thing. You just knit on 10 stitches and you just go in one big square, back and forth, and you do a corner, back and forth, do a corner, and you just keep going round and round and round. And I love it. I think it's going to be perfect for his bed. I will say this yarn, and it is Connie. This is the yarn, and let that get focused, and I don't know if the camera's going to focus, but anyway, that is the yarn. It's from Denmark. It is scratchy. It's very rustic, so I don't know. It tends to, the more I work with it, to soften up a bit. I don't know what it's going to do in the end. Let's see. I think it is 100% wool. So it's not even like washing and drying is going to make it softer. I'll just soak it really good in a good conditioner. And probably wasn't the best of ideas to knit a little boy something in wool, but I'm sure his mommy will take good care of it and wash it correctly. But that's living in right now, because it's so small, is living in this bag by Girl So Sheepy. And I think her name is Tammy. I think she was from Australia, and I have not seen her on Instagram for a long time. So I don't know. I even looked her up, and I don't even know if she's on there. I need to send her a message because she was so sweet. She had started a podcast and then she quit podcasting, but she was making bags, and I hope she's okay. But that is living in this. And that's my baggage, and this will be my baggage. It's probably going to go back to baggage before I get it finished. But I mean, this pattern is the type that when you put it down and you go to pick it back up, if it's been any time at all, you have to rethink the pattern and get it in your head again. And then once you get it in your head, you can zip right along. But then the corners mess you up. If you put it down for very long at all, it takes you a little while to work out the corners. But so my intent is just to even work on it a little bit at a time, but continue to do it and not let it go back and languish like I so often do. That's my daughter. I'm sending a message, and I need to keep track of the time because I have to pick up my grandson. What is going on in other Crofty endeavors of mine? I'm trying to see, I don't have my watch on, I'm using my phone, and I don't know what time it is. I'm going to go see what time it is so that I am not late picking him up. Okay, I have a little bit of time left. I may have to finish this up later. Other Crofty endeavors. I am working, you'll remember me talking about my embroidery that I really wanted you to hold me accountable to. Okay. I haven't got much done, and I don't even know if you can see, but I have been working on this green, and I've got it all done except for this section. So I've done this and this. So I have this side of the path to do up to here. This is it's my odyssey, because we are on our journey to our pathway to finding our new little cottage. And you can see that's a flowered path that leads to a cottage. There's a little couple down here. And that's where I am right now. We are on the hunt for our perfect little cottage. I would like to say forever cottage, but I've lived life just a tad bit long to know. I don't know that I believe in forever in much anymore. But so I'm saying this is my odyssey. This will be the pathway to our next cottage. Our next little ruby moss cottage. But that's how far I am. I really thought that by the time I got to this podcast that I'd have this color of green all finished. And all of my little notions for this is in my Lowlands original bag, which I love Renee's bags too. She's from the Netherlands, and it's Lowland Original on Etsy. But it has all of my little embroidery notions in there. So that is going to be so pretty. Okay, I said I was a process knitter. I haven't got to the process embroidery yet. The process needlework has not hit me because I want this done and framed and on my wall. I don't know if my same ideology comes into play for this. Probably will. I'll probably have so many mistakes in this because I want to get done. But that's okay. At least this doesn't have to be worn on the body. It'll be framed and the picture will be there. I don't think anybody will be scrutinizing it. But isn't that, I love it. It's by Thread Folk on Etsy. This is the little magnet that holds my needles, but excuse me, the needle is put away. But that's my embroidery. I love it. It's going to be so pretty. It's going to be so, so pretty. Okay, that's it for my, excuse me, I know I'm out of frame. My little Crofty endeavors. I am going to move on to my book bag now. And you know what? My tea bag, I did not have tea. I had coffee that I got this morning. I had to go out to the chiropractor. And so when I stopped, came back, I stopped by the coffee shop and got me coffee that has had me flying around. I mean, I've been cleaning, and it's over there on the table. And so that's in my tea bag. It's not tea, it's coffee, it's iced coffee. I melted iced coffee. And good, but boy did it hype me up. Book bag, let's move on to my book bags. I have been reading some really good books. Of course, forever, I've always got my Bella Grace magazine with me. This is the fall edition. So I know I'm not even going to go on about it again because I know I've gone on about it before, but I have had many of you say, I read that now because of you. So if you're new, I just want you to know this magazine, bookazine, is a keeper. Beauty on every page, just beauty on every page. Words are so inspirational. Very good. Books. I listened on Audible to The Proposal. My book club actually did that book, and it's just a fun read. It's about a proposal gone awry, and then how this girl's life goes on as she meets someone, and not a lot of meat to it, but if you just want an easy reading book to have fun and enjoy, I would suggest it. It was interesting. I was glad I was listening to it on Audible and not taking the time to hold it in my hands and read it, because I could knit, or I think I listened to a lot of it on the plane. It wasn't something that I had to, I don't think I would have wanted to waste the time, is a wrong thing, because it was a great escape. It wasn't heavy. It was fun. There was not a lot of drama. So that was a good book. But I did listen to that on Audible. Now, this book, I don't know if I was probably reading, I probably had started it the last podcast, but it is so good. She's Come Undone. I don't know where I've been all my life that I have not read this book. I can't tell you how many comments. I think I posted it on Instagram and someone said, oh, I read that a million years ago. I've read that 20 times. I just went on and on and on about it. It's a coming of age odyssey about a girl named Dolores. And it is so, so good. I cannot believe that a man wrote this book and he is in her head and he nailed women. I mean, every emotion, it's a man. I apologize if you're a man watching this, but seriously, men just don't get women. This guy, I wonder what kind of a husband he is, because he got this girl, this character, he has nailed so good. I don't think there was any section of it that did just not grip me. In the beginning, he writes in the introduction how someone had said to him how good the book was, and how if they played this game in their head about if they were having a dinner party with characters from books, who they would invite. And this person said that they would invite Dolores to their party, the dinner party. I so agree. And that has really tweaked my brain. Now I'm always thinking, like when I was reading The Proposal, I'm like, nah, I wouldn't want to invite any of these people. But like Dolores, I would want to invite. Jo March from Little Women, I have to have her. So there are just Gone Girl, Amy from Gone Girl. I mean, everybody would want Amy from Gone Girl. Bernadette from Where'd You Go, Bernadette? There are just so many. So now I'm thinking of characters like, who would I invite to my dinner party? I think I would have to have a lot of dinner parties because there are so many people that I would want to invite. I would want to invite, it's not a book, but it's a show, Downton Abbey. I would want to invite the grandmother. I think she would be hilarious to have to a dinner party. Just sitting there making wisecracks would be just so fun. But, so think about that. Let me know who you would invite to your dinner party. Characters from books. Who you would invite to your dinner party if you were having a dinner party. I think that's interesting. This book, She's Come Undone, everybody needs to read. Everybody needs to read. It is so, so good. I know a lot of you probably read it, but you will thank me if you haven't. That is, let me make sure before oh no, Lunatime. Okay, I'm reading this book, Lunatime. If you, I don't know if you follow Maker's Haven on Instagram. She's a yarn dyer. She is now an author. She's writing a series. So the first book was Lunatime. Oh, it's so good. If you like time travel, like if you like Outlander, you'll love this book. So good. I don't know how Amber's mind really went to the places it went, but she is so creative. And let me tell you, I bought the book just because I follow her on Instagram. I like Amber. I like her personality. I like everything she represents. She's just a sweetheart. And so I bought the book really out of kindness. Just, I don't want to do it so I can say I did it. The whole time I'm reading it, I'm like, I cannot believe this is her first book. I cannot believe how good this is. So she is doing her second book, and I don't remember what the name of it is, but she did like a book club. So you would order the book, and now this is my understanding. I haven't received it yet. We're doing it for the month of November. You have a book, and then there'll be gifts in it that you open up at different points of the books. If you remember me, if you followed me, I did Once Upon a Book Club, and that was the concept of their book box. And so I had to do it. It was like, I've got to do this. So the second book I will be reading the month of November, along with a group of other people, and we will be opening gifts at different points of the book. But go on, I think, and there'll be 3 in the series. The third one comes out next year sometime. Very, very good. Very well written. And it's just, a small world connection. Amber actually lives in North Carolina. We had not met. We did end up at the same event one time, but at different times. We wanted to meet up with each other, and it just didn't work out. So anyway, Lunatime. Yeah, that's very good. And that one I'm reading on my Kindle, so I don't have that actually in my hand. I didn't have that actually in my hand, but I can't wait to get that second book in my hand. Then I'm reading this book. It's called David and Goliath. Okay, I'm only that far. I've only read this much. But it is Underdogs, Misfits, and the Art of Battling Giants. And after the year I've been in, I thought, this is a good one. I picked it up at Barnes & Noble. They had a whole table. Actually, they were doing a book club on one of his books, Malcolm Gladwell. I've never read him before, but I'll be reading probably all of his books because it's more motivational. It's not a novel, but it's very, very, very good. It's one you're going to want to pen to mark up and to read and reread probably. But I'll tell you, I love this. Let's see what page I'm on. I'm on page 54. I love it. I don't know that I will be finished because it's the type of book you can pick up and you can read a chapter and then chew on it for a while and put it down and then pick it back up, and so it's not really a story per se, and so it's kind of a different concept. But so these kind of books that are just really soul searching and motivational, I don't pick them up and read them from cover to cover. I pick them up, like I said, read a little bit, chew on it, think about it, apply it to my life, come back, chew on it. So it might take me a month or so to read this, but that's a good one. If that's the kind of, if you need this right now in your life, like I do, this concept, this is a good book, good author. I think all of his, the one they were doing the book club on, I believe the premise was understanding the people that you have differences with, the people you think you hate, the culture you think is repelling. It's understanding those people to where we can get along more efficiently and we can kind of understand one another. And once you understand someone's story, you're a little bit more lenient and a lot less judgmental. So that book will be my next one of his, but this is very good. So that's all that's in my book bags. Let's see. I think that pretty much, oh, you know what? I've got some shopping bags. I'm going to wait because I'll tell you about my Waynesville trip with my sisters, and that'll leave me in my shopping bags. But yeah, what I have been, the trips we've taken, we went to Vegas again. That was so much fun. The weather had cooled down so much. Instead of being 115, it was in the 80s. Very nice. Morning walks were so cool. We went to see Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, I guess I should say. He is hilarious. I went to go see him. And then I relaxed a lot, did a lot of knitting and reading. We did that. We went to Biloxi, Mississippi. I'd never been there. There on the Gulf. And there was something, Cruise the Coast. I'm not into old cars, but these people were lined up along the road to watch. But here's the funny thing. Todd and I were out walking one morning, and we saw these people. We saw 4 people with their chairs sitting alongside the road. And I said, well, imagine that being your entertainment. You just come set up on side the main road and just watch cars go by. And then that's all we saw. So they must have been the first people out there for the day. So we went on our walk, and when we were coming back through, I'm like, oh, there's more people. What? And then we realized they're sitting watching old cars. We still didn't realize we knew something was going on, but didn't know what was going on. And then as the days went on, it was more and more people. I mean, the road was just lined with chairs of people sitting watching these old cars go by. Beautiful old cars. Not knocking that. If that's your thing, I could see. I would have had to sit there with knitting. If I could have sat there with knitting needles, I could have sat there all day too. But I didn't see one knitter in the group, and I just wanted to stop and say, do you realize that you're wasting your time? I didn't even see anybody reading. I mean, I don't know. What's wrong with people? I mean, like, there's something you can be doing while you're just sitting there. But I mean, to each his own. I don't know why I'm judging. But that was going on while we were there. So that was fun. We're getting ready to go to West Virginia. Okay. Well, let me talk about the Waynesville trip. My sisters and I went to Waynesville, and my mother. We took my mother. So there were 4 of us. Sharon, the one that you know that podcasts with me, she and I convinced them that Waynesville was just a quaint mountain town that they would love and enjoy. And it is. It really is. So they agreed that it wasn't about a yarn. It wasn't about a knitting trip. It was, sisters, mother going. We're going to have a good time. We're going to shop all the little quaint shops. But they did know that there was a yarn shop there. So when we get there, I'm driving. So the driver chooses where you go first, right? And so we went to Tia Dana, the yarn shop that you hear me talk about. You'll hear me talk about Tia Dana, and you'll hear me talk about Black Mountain Yarn Shop, 2 of my favorites. They're like within 20, 25 minutes of each other. Depends on who's driving. I mean, maybe it's really 30, but when you're a knitter and you're going from yarn shop to yarn shop, you tend to maybe go a little faster than what the other people do. Some people might tend to do that. Anyway, we went and we stopped. So we stopped at Tia Dana first. And I don't know how long we were in there, but I think it was a long time. I didn't know it went fast for me, and it went fast for Sharon, but my mom and my other sister were just sitting there. And there is so much, and I told them, I said, this is a yarn shop, but there's a lot of other shopping. They've got handbags, they've got puzzles, they've got books, they've got jewelry, they've got candles. There's a lot of other stuff to look at. You'll enjoy it. Plus there's a sofa. My mom's back hurts, so there's a sofa you can sit, and I thought it was just a win-win for all of us. Well, I don't think it was so much, because they sat there and they didn't complain at all. But I think we may have stayed a little longer than what we thought we did. And then, so by the time we got up to the main street, the quaint street with all the little shops, I think we kind of wore them out. We had lunch, and then my mom, we were walking down the street, and she said, I think we're parked down there. I'm like, well, Mom, we're going to shop now. But I think we had already worn her out, and I think she just ready ready to come home. But anyway, so we had so much fun. Sharon and I bought more yarn to go. I got enough yarn to finish my sweater that I'm working on, the Marl Mania sweater. Sharon and I are going to cast on this shawl by Andrea Mowry. It's called the Liminal, I think is what it's called, Liminal. That will be so fun. So feel free to cast it on. We're casting it on October 21st. And this is the yarn that I bought to go with it. Let me get one of these. It's Rowan Soft Yak DK. And that's not showing, that's kind of showing up. But I think, oh my gosh, I wish you could feel, it feels so amazing. I'm excited to do this shawl in this. Sharon got, she's doing hers, I think I mentioned earlier, she's doing hers out of the Rowan Felted, whatever I'm knitting my sweater out of. So we're casting this on Liminal, and it calls for DK weight. We're casting that on October 21st in honor of moi. No time limit. I don't know when it'll be done. It's for me. I'm not doing it. The one that, the At Your Side shawl that I gave to our other sister for her birthday, we cast that on Sharon's birthday, which was July 13th. And I cast it on. I didn't know it was going to be a gift, but I did. I gave it to her for her birthday. So this one, I'm not going to do any more gift yet. I'm doing the blanket or the throw as a gift, and then I'm going to do some, I think I'm going to do some, there's a hat from Petite Knits hats that I'm going to do the kids for Christmas. But other than that, I think all the shawls and things are going to be for me for a while. Maybe. Hopefully. Okay. I'm going to SAF. So hopefully you will get to watch this before SAF. That's the Southeastern Animal Fiber Festival, and it's in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm going, and the exciting thing is my friend from St. Louis is flying in. I pick her up at the airport on Thursday. We're going to the mountains, and we are staying through until Monday. And we're going to be doing Tia Dana. We're going to be going to Black Mountain Yarn Shop. We're going to be going to SAF. And we are going to knit in the mountains. We're going looking for bear. And so help me, if we don't see bear on this trip, every time I go up there, I'm looking for bear and I never see him. And then Donna will post from Black Mountain Yarn Shop. She'll put in her stories how she sees bear, and she'll have all these videos of bear, and I never see him, and I'm always looking. I did see elk. I don't know. I'll put a picture of it here. Me and my husband were out looking for bear, and we saw these. I think they're elk. I'll have to ask him. But so hopefully we'll see those. And we're going to knit and knit and knit, and we're going to drink wine, and we're going to have fun together. So, saying all of that, if you are watching, and if you're going to SAF, and if you see me, or if you're going to Black Mountain Yarn Shop, or if you're at Tia Dana, or wherever, and you see me, please stop me and say hello. I'm going to try and get my pen, have my pens with me. They're in storage, and I don't know where they are, but my intent is to find them before I leave, and I'll give you a pen. But I am the type, first of all, I'm very shy, and second of all, I'm very focused. So I may look like I don't want to talk to you, but that's not the case. I'm probably just thinking about something really hard. I would love to meet you. I know there are a few of you that already asked me if I'm going, and said you'll be there. I don't know what you look like, but you know what I look like. So you have to stop me and give me a hug, or if you're not a hugger, we'll fist bump, we'll wink, we'll whatever. But I would love to meet you. Love to meet you. So please stop me and say hello and show me what you're buying. But that is the 25th. We're going to SAP on Friday, I think. We may go back. I think it's Friday and Saturday. I don't know. But I think we're going up on Thursday. We'll be at Tia Dana on Thursday on the way in. Friday morning, we're going to Black Mountain Yarn Shop on Friday morning, staying there till, I don't know. Then we'll go on to SAP. So we'll be there Friday afternoon. And then maybe go back on Saturday. I don't know. Depends. I'm not a spinner. St. Louis is. So I feel like I haven't been there for so long. It's been several years that I've been to SAP because I feel like it was really geared toward spinners. I do drop the spindle every now and then, but it's not something I do. I mean, I can't say I'm a spinner. So I don't know if she'll want to go back. And they have yarn too, so, but I would imagine I'm going to be getting my yarn at Black Mountain Yarn Shop in Tia Dana. That's what I would imagine. But I'm not sure. But saying all that, please, please, please stop. Stop me if you see me and say hello. Because I've had other people in the past say, I saw you at Black Mountain Yarn Shop at that event. And they didn't say hi. And it made me sad because I want you to stop me and tell me hello. I love to meet you all. That's part of the deal here, You know me, now let me know you. So, and my niches, there's going to be a couple of them at Black Mountain Yarn Shop. I don't think they're going on to SAP, but they're not staying. They're just coming up for the day. My sister can't. She has a daughter-in-law coming in for the weekend, and then some kind of cheerleading competition from one of her grandies. So, she won't be with me. But I'm fun too. So I know she's the crazy one, but I'm fun too. So please, please, please stop and say hello. Let me check my notes to make sure that I have said everything that I want to say. Okay. Yep, I think so. I think the last time I told you what I was watching on Netflix, I watched Northern Rescue, which I loved that. My husband and I are watching Longmire. It's good, but because I can knit and do something else. Oh, I'm getting caught up on the last season of Call the Midwife. I like that. I think that might be about it that I'm watching on Netflix Prime. We just finished the last season of Goliath. Podcast, I like I say, I haven't really watched. I was watching, I did watch Girls from the Yarn Cafe. I love them. They haven't recorded in a long time. I watched their last one recently, but they recorded like May, and I just watched it. Which, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I travel with a shawl. I'm going to try and make that something that I show you from now on. I never thought to show it, but I think I'm going to highlight different shawls. I put on Instagram this shawl here that I took to Biloxi, Mississippi with me. This is the Autumn Hippie Shawl. And it is designed by the Yarn Cafe Creations, the mother of the two. But so I just threw this on this morning. So I thought, well, if they watch me on Instagram, they might want to see this. So this is the shawl that I have just thrown around my shoulders. It's like 70s out, so it's a nice fall day. I'm just waiting. Now we're going to West Virginia, and it's going to be like in the 50s and 60s. Great shawl weather, great sweater weather. I think I'm going to take some of the sweaters that I've hand knit or crocheted or something. But anyway, love this. It's so pretty. I just pulled stash yarn, so it was just a hodgepodge of yarns that I had in my stash. That's it. It looks like there's nothing else to talk about. I have to go get my grandson from school and kindergarten. And so enjoy your weather. Remember to say hey if you see me at SAF. And I look forward to coming back here soon. Hopefully I will have my sweater done. Hopefully I will podcast again in October to show off my October sweater. That is going to be my goal, okay? I will try to come back here in October when my sweater is finished, and I'll let you know what I'm going to be casting, what sweater I'm going to be casting on in November. Until then, in all you do, take it one stitch at a time.